Hello everyone, thanks for joining me today. I am about to do one of my favorites, and when I say favorites, I think I got a lot of favorites, but no, truly, this is one of my favorite soups. It is the Zuppa Toscana Copycat that you would get from Olive Garden. Now, I don't know that if you've ever tried it. I'm not sure if Olive Garden is nationwide or if it's out the country, but it is a wonderful, basically, it's a kale and sausage soup. Okay, just that simple, kale and sausage soup. But I have just a slightly different take on it. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm not going to keep from this goodness. So right now, I'm just frying up some bacon, because here's that bird again. To a nice warm pan, we're going to add about 6 ounces of bacon. It's hard to say who's the star of the show of this dish. We have a lot of bacon here, and then we're going to use Italian sausage. So a lot of your flavors are going to depend on the flavor of your meat. If it's an Italian sausage that you love, then you want to use that one. You don't want to skip, because that flavor and that sausage goes into that soup. Pan up a little too high. We got some smoke going on. So our next step is we're going to add the Italian sausage. I've done it a couple different ways, and I don't think I have a preference. So you can actually just cook the sausage, put it in the oven, cook it, dice it up, or you can use the loose bulk Italian sausage, or you can do what I'm doing in this case, because I'm using what I have on hand. So I just took one of my sausage links, and I just squeezed the meat out of the casing. You're going to use a pound. I did add just a little, because I told you I was going to bulk it up. So you're just going to add this into your bacon grease. If I can get it out. We're going to brown the sausage up in our bacon fat. Now once this is brown, you're gonna take it out, and in the fat that's in here, you're going to saute your onions and your garlic. As you can see, I've taken out the Italian sausage, and now on to the onions. So that's one onion, chopped a little small, a finer chop. I'll start with this. Don't worry about that oil. And if you would like, you can add a little bit more onions. I know you guys are going to be surprised, but this is pretty much a whole bulb of garlic. Mine is a small amount, because the little, really small cloves I didn't put in here. So it's roughly about 9 or 10 of these. Of course, you're going to chop them up. And don't be afraid. This is going to lend some really garlicky goodness to this dish. And we're just going to finish sauteing that garlic until it's nice and fragrant and smells of your kitchen. It gets that raw smell and taste out of it. And now you're going to add your chicken broth. You can add half chicken broth and half water. Now that's a lot of broth unless you make it yourself. The other thing that you can do is if you have like some kind of chicken stock base or a bouillon cube, you can add that, but just be mindful of the salt. So you don't want to use a little, just enough so it just lends some flavor or additional flavor, because there's a lot of flavor in here with all that we have. But because we have all the sausage and bacon, you don't want to make it too salty. I added a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Now this next spice is completely optional. As a matter of fact, if you like it hot, you can add hot Italian sausage. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. I'm only going to add about a half a teaspoon of salt. And about a teaspoon of pepper. And I'm going to get this until a nice little rolling boil. That's a lot of potatoes. We just want to cook these until they're almost done, so it doesn't take long. So when we check and they're almost done, we're going to add the kale. Now you want to taste your broth and make sure all is well. And now I'm going to add a cup of heavy cream. Adding your chopped kale in. You can add about 6 cups or less, just depend on how you like it. But remember, I'm going to beef this up. The kale doesn't take long to cook. If you don't have kale, some collards, cut collards, of course you would have to cook them a little longer. Swiss chard is a favorite in here as well. I've made it with Swiss chard. I've made it with kale. I'm going to bring it up to a boil. I'm going to add the sausage in. I may have needed a larger pot. Ay, ay, ay. We're going to let the potatoes finish cooking. And we're going to let these kale greens finish cooking. Now something that you can always do for later, if you have some extra kale, and maybe you want yours just a little bit more green, you can take those kale greens and put them in some chicken broth and just cook them down until they get a little soft. Put them aside, and you can always add them later to your dish. I'm going to add a little bit more, and hopefully my pot won't boil over. And then after this cooks, and you're looking probably about 5 more minutes of cooking this. After about 5 more minutes, I'm going to go ahead and just add the bacon, or you can just garnish it on your plate, but I'm going to add it back in. And I need to hurry up because I got folks asking me, when is this going to be done? When is it going to be done? It doesn't take long. But it's just one of those dishes that you wished it was cooked in an instant.